What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a very special look at the fully redesigned 2021 Hyundai Elantra Hybrid. So yes, this has been fully redesigned from 2020 now to 2021, exterior redesign and interior redesign. And we're gonna be taking a look at every single feature it has to offer. Now, like I mentioned, this is a hybrid, but it is the top trim that you can get. It took a little while for this to be released. The Limited and the SEL and then lower trims came out first, and then a little bit later, Hybrid Limited. So this is the top trim you can get. It's gonna have every bell and whistle possible on this model, and it's going to have that additional hybrid motor in it as well. But let's start up front, as always, with this awesome redesigned front fascia here. It's very, very angular. Everything is super sharp and pointy, and you're gonna see that as we work our way throughout the entirety of the vehicle. Now, these headlights up front are LED. That is gonna be specific to the Limited and the Limited Hybrid. Lower trims will just have standard kind of halogen headlights, but this LED daytime running light accent here, that's gonna be standard across the board. You also have these incandescent turn signals. Those are kind of baked into the back of the grille, which is a really cool look. The entire grille has this very kind of triangular pointy design. It's a massive front fascia. I mean, this thing is bold, and you know exactly what it is when it pulls up. Now, like I mentioned, everything is super pointy, so even down here on these ground effects, you have this really, really sharp angle. That's a very unique design. No fog lights at all on any trims, unfortunately. Big, beautiful Hyundai badge right in the center here. Now the hood has these scooping leading lines right down to that Hyundai badge, which looks really cool. Under the hood, you're gonna have a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine. But like I mentioned, because it's a hybrid, you're also gonna have a 32 kilowatt motor. Now those two power sources are going to combine for 139 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque, 52 miles per gallon highway. You heard that correctly, 52 miles per gallon highway, 49 miles per gallon city. And you can get this thing up to 58 miles per gallon with, proper efficiency when driving. But if we continue on back, you'll see that the Limited here sits on these 17-inch contrast alloy wheels. These look really cool. They have this kind of star-shaped two-tone look to them, really clean. On some of the lower trims, you'll get smaller wheels, 16-inch or so. But here on the Limited, these beautiful 17-inch wheels. Moving on back, you've got chrome window trim that runs around. It'll be black on lower trims. On the side mirrors here, these are body color. They have blind spot monitoring standard, which is a nice feature to have. They're also heated on higher trim levels with a built-in turn signal here. You do have to manually fold them though. There's no power folding option. Moving on back, you've got keyless access here on the side. No sensor inside, it's just a little button here so you can open your door, push your finger on it, boom, it'll lock right up for you. Additionally, on the Limited and Hybrid Limited, you can use Hyundai's digital key as an option. So I can't demonstrate it because I have an iPhone, but if you have an Android phone, you can hold your key or hold your phone up to the door handle here and be able to get into your car and start it. Now, again, on the Hybrid Limited here, you're going to have a sunroof as well, which is sweet. All right, now as far as the key fob goes, you have lock and unlock. Obviously, you can push and hold for remote start. You have a horn down at the bottom, and then you can open your rear gate as well, just by pushing and holding, and that will pop right up for you. So moving to the back of the vehicle here, you do have LED tail lights, which is a great feature. Again, this just super angular and pointed full body design. These leading lines are so aggressive and literally look sharp to the touch. Now they're not, they're rounded off, but you have such a dramatic look here. Now this tailgate here, it's got like a pseudo spoiler on it. It looks really sweet. So it kind of pops out here, comes to a sharp angle here, and gives you, like I said, like a little bit of a pseudo spoiler, keep stuff off of your rear camera. It's functional too. It doesn't just look great, but you also have these super angular tail lights here, super angular ground effects down at the bottom. You also have this really cool LED light bar that runs across the rear gate here. Hyundai's been doing this a lot of other manufacturers have been as well, just making it look more modern across the board. No visible exhaust system or anything like that. It's a clean design up underneath. You do have some parking sensors here dotted around, standard rear view camera here, Elantra badging spaced out. You got your hybrid badging here specifically, obviously, because we are looking at a hybrid. And then you've got a little button here you can push, and that will open your tailgate. And you have a pretty decently sized trunk in the segment. It's, not gonna blow you away, but you can definitely store a good bit of stuff in there. I'll have dimensions on screen for you. But that's about it here on the back. Let's hop inside. All right, so hopping inside the cabin here, holy cow, do we have a ton of screen real estate. We have almost 21 inches of LCD screens in here. Absolutely crazy. The cabin is very driver-centric, right? Everything is angled very much so towards the driver. The screens are kind of, you know, this way a little bit. The center console all leans this direction with this kind of angled bit protector. I don't even know what you'd call this. Maybe like a grip, or I haven't seen this many places. I know the Corvette has something like this with controls on it, but I don't know if I've seen it in something this inexpensive. But you've got that nonetheless, whatever you want to do with that. Hang on for dear life when you're, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like this beautiful updated Hyundai steering wheel. It's a really unique design. Leather wrapped, no heated options, unfortunately, on any trims, even the fully loaded hybrid limited here. But you do have your media controls on the left side, your adaptive cruise control, other safety systems, and your digital display manipulation controls right here. On this side, kind of this unique dual slotted steering wheel here. It's sporty. I really like the look of it. It's kind of cool. You can hold it in all these different places, whatever's most comfortable for you. I mean, you could drive like this if you wanted to. I don't recommend that. I don't think that's like sanctioned, but you could if you wanted to. Past this steering wheel, you have a 10.25-inch digital display cluster. This is going to have your speed gauge and your hybrid gauge as well, showing kind of where, if your motor's charging or using power, or what's going on, how many miles left in your tank. Any of your engine lights are going to be there, temperature, you know, miles per trip. You're going to have your adaptive cruise control, other safety systems on there, media controls, all kinds of goodies right there. And you can manipulate it, like I said, with these buttons on the steering wheel. It's over here to the left of the digital display cluster here. And it's this like segmented circle with a line through it, or like a minus sign. I'm not really sure, but it's not digital, like, right? Like this little circle part is physically on here. I can feel it. It's textured, but it's like there's should be something in the middle there. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I thought it might be, you know, one of the little like Apple MagSafe connectors here, because it's got like a very similar look to it. It's almost the exact same size. So I thought maybe I could like take my phone and like, boom, like magnet it right to the side and it would charge, and I could, you know, that's a perfect place for it. Am I wrong? But no, it's not that. So I'm not really sure what it is. So just a little interjection here. I have confirmed that that circle, in fact, does nothing. It is not functional. It is simply cosmetic in some way. I'm gonna put cosmetic in air quotes. I went through this entire manual. I went through the entire supplementary manual that they give you in the hybrid. Nothing about it in here, not even mentioned. I had to reach out to one of our sales representatives and they said it does zip zero zilch. Sorry guys, it's just for looks. But anyway, moving on to the right side of the display here, you have an additional 10.25-inch infotainment screen. This one is really unique. You're only going to get this on the higher trim levels, so the limited and the hybrid limited. Lower trims are going to have an 8-inch system, and that has a pro and a con actually. The 8-inch system is going to have wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, where the higher trimmed, more expensive system is not. That's going to require you to use a lightning cable to plug it in to the system. So interesting choice there. I would assume it has something to do with the amount of pixels that it's pushing, and you know, a bigger 10.25-inch screen is going to have a lot more pixels than a smaller 8-inch screen. That's my best guess, but unfortunately it's kind of a give and take there. But this 10.25-inch screen has a lot of nice features found inside of it. Like I mentioned, you've got that CarPlay and Android Auto just by default. You've got your hybrid menu. This is gonna house all of your different motor information, just letting you know kind of what your charge is at, you know, what your fuel economy is gonna be, energy flow, good stuff like that. Built-in navigation. You know, I'm not a big fan of in-vehicle navigation, but I will say it again, I've said it before, Hyundai's navigation is one of the more smooth navigation systems. It still doesn't look great, but as far as like functionality, it's pretty smooth and effective in its use case. But I would always use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay over built-in navigation every time. You've got Bluetooth, obviously. You've got voice memos where you can record little voice clips for yourself. Digital climate control as well, valet mode, Sirius XM radio, AM, FM, all that kind of good stuff. Media as well. And then you've got Sounds of Nature, which I've talked about in my Sonata videos. I'll have a playlist above with my Sonata videos, but if you want to know the awesome tech behind these Hyundais, definitely check out my tech channel, Matt's Tech. I'll have it linked above. I did a full video on all the technology inside the 2021 Sonata, and a lot of that applies here as well in the Elantra, so definitely check that out and subscribe if you're into it. But that Sounds of Nature feature is really cool. It basically shows off the Bose 8-speaker audio system that we've got in here by giving you, different, obviously sounds of nature. So you've got like lively forest, calm sea waves, all that kind of stuff, and it will play out over the speaker. Oh, I'm turning up the AC. I'm dumb. That's lively forest and calm sea waves. It's just basically a promo for the Bose speaker system, which sounds great, so they did a good job with that, but it doesn't really serve any other purposes other than that, unless maybe you want to relax in your car. Then it's great. You have Blue Link as well, notifications, your user manual. Now inside the screen here, you can set up your driver profiles as well for your position memory seats, but you also have buttons over here to set that position memory, and you can automatically adjust that just by hitting your various buttons, and it will adjust your seats. That is not comfortable. It also has an easy exit feature, so if the car is off, see, the seat is going to automatically slide back and allow you to get out easier. And then if I were to get back in, hit start, it's going to slide me forward back to whatever default position that I've saved. Moving on down from the infotainment center, you do have push button start on the SEL and higher, so it's going to be here on the limited hybrid. All of your buttons are going to be down underneath the infotainment center. On these higher trim levels, on the ones that have the 8-inch screen, you'll have integrated buttons here on the sides, but they have just, everything that we talked about before, just in a hardware sense. Moving on down from that, you do have like a split zone climate control, so you have individually adjustable temperatures for driver and passenger that can be synced or separate depending on what you want. All your controls for that are right here. Down from that, you'll see your heated seat option. Now, your heated seats are specific to higher trim levels, but you will only have ventilated seats on the hybrid, which we've got right here. So we do have heated and ventilated seats, but that is specific, not like to the limited, but to the limited hybrid. So you're only gonna find it in this top trim here. Moving on down from that, you have a 12-volt outlet. You have a single USB-A port for data, and then a single USB-A port for charging, so 2 right there. Then you have a Qi-enabled wireless charging pad that is ventilated, so that will not only keep your phone charged, but also cool at the same time. Now, there are a lot of similarities between the Elantra and the Sonata. The steering wheel design and the kind of look of all these displays up here. But one thing you do not have on the Elantra is that shift-by-wire system. You're going to have a standard, shifting column here on the center console that will allow you just to, pick all your different gears. It's a relatively simple look. I think it's pretty clean. It's got just a kind of a leatherette material on top, a little bit of a chrome bit underneath, and then no accent stitching or anything like that. But next to that, you have your drive mode selector, you have your parking camera button. So if we go ahead and turn that on, we can take a look at that. And that's just gonna show you your rear vision camera basically with your parking sensors. And then you have an electronic parking brake and auto vehicle hold right there as well. Now, moving back from that, the cup holders have a unique feature to them. So if you grab the little insert here, which kind of looks like eyes and a nose or something, they have the ability to switch them around. So by default, they're in their standard position and you have pretty deep cup holders. But if you pull it out, rotate it around and stick it back in, you're gonna get a much more shallow cup holder. So depending on what size water bottle or what size coffee you might be drinking, you can easily switch that around to accommodate your larger or smaller bottles, which is cool. Center console here, decently sized pocket, but no connectivity ports at all. Over in the glove box, nothing really either, just your standard normal glove box. Up top, you have an auto dimming rearview mirror here, universal HomeLink garage door controls as well. Moving on past that, you have your sunroof controls up top, your dome lights right there. Those are looking like halogen dome lights. But then you do have your little speaker grill here for your Bose premium audio system, and you do have a Bose speaker down up underneath. On the sides of the door panels, you do have this really unique design with these textured material. It's not like a leather, it's more like a rubbery material with this triple accent stitching right here. It's just like a gray color accent. Door handle's in kind of a weird spot for me. I'm about 6'1", almost 6'2", and it's kind of like a really low, weird angle, but it's right here. And then you have your mirror controls, your window controls here, nothing too crazy. Right over here, you've got your display brightness setting. You've got a 12-volt battery reset. You can turn off your lane keeping assist and your traction control right there, your fuse box underneath there. The steering wheel is a manually adjustable steering wheel, so it's telescoping and it can go up and down, but it's got this lever to lock it into place. As far as seating surfaces go, on all models except for the Limited and Limited Hybrid here, you're going to have cloth seats with a kind of unique accent stitching. But on the Limited and the Hybrid Limited, you're going to have these leather seating surfaces. Again, like I mentioned, on this Limited Hybrid, they're going to be ventilated here. So they're perforated on both, but ventilated here, which makes some sense. Over on the driver's side, like I mentioned, position memory, power adjustable driver's seat, no power options in the back seat, which is a little unfortunate. I don't really like when they do that in family cars because kids in the back are going to need those power outlets almost more than you will. So I'm not really sure why they don't do that, but nonetheless, you do still have those leather seating surfaces in the back, and it's a pretty spacious back seat. As far as overall interior design, I think it's a really, really clean design. Like I mentioned, very driver-centric, everything angling towards the driver. This kind of unique bar here that kind of, again, makes it more driver-centric. It's like it separates you from your passenger in a weird way. As far as materials go, you're not going to be, inundated with the most beautiful and luscious and premium materials. Nonetheless, it's got some nice elements. That steering wheel feels nice, the shift knob feels nice, the seats feel great, but you are going to still have like a mix of hard touch and soft touch rubber throughout the cabin. And like on the headliners and stuff, you're gonna have that kind of textured fabric up top, and on the A-pillars, you're just gonna have some contrast colored plastic here. So not the most premium cabin outside of like the steering wheel and the seats and things like that, but I like the look of it. Again, they went with kind of that chrome venting covers as well, which kind of adds a nice pop of something. I would have liked some color in here, but I think we're going to get some color on the N-Line. We'll definitely take a look at that when we do get one on our lots. But having that speaker grille here, the door handle, and that chrome that runs throughout gives it a nice contrast with the otherwise kind of more just black on black look. We also kind of have a plethora of safety features here. My favorite one here is this highway drive assist. And I'm using it right now, as you can tell, no hands on the wheel. It's safe, it's keeping me in the center of the lane. It'll keep me set on my certain speed and distance away with that adaptive cruise control. See, it's warning me to keep my hands on the wheel there. So if I go ahead and just keep one hand on the wheel, but you'll see that it's actually gonna take me around this curve here pretty easily without really any intervention from me whatsoever. That's pretty impressive. It works really well. It'll obviously, if I were to get over here, it'll slow down since I'm behind this car here. As you can see, I'm starting to drop off speed there to keep me away from that car. But it kind of tugs on you if you try and change lanes without using your turn signal, which is nice too. But yeah, just having that ability to take around curves. We're gonna go on a tighter curve right here as we go towards Indiana. See if it, yep. That is a pretty sharp curve. One that I wouldn't traditionally feel secure in letting the car do for me, but man, it does a really good job. Look at that. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Drop a like on the video if you loved it. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of this fresh redesign here on the Elantra? I really like the interior. I think it's a really premium look, but let's have a conversation about it down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be one of the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.